Didn't demonstrates a link between insecurity or security concerns and voter apathy, but it's very clear in the report in their key findings. In fact, one of it is that 21% of the respondents, which is the highest chunk, state security concern as a dominant factor influencing voting intention. So it's actually a big concern for a number of voters and would potentially affect how whether or not they come out to vote. So it's a big deal. Then the second part of that is that in some elections or in some centers, we see whereby the officers themselves are complicit when it comes to, looking away during violence on elections. What have you been able to address that or identify that and correct that for the next election cycle? And then also very quickly on that one, I just want to ask if you've been able to identify some hotspots and what are the measures designed to ensure you're able to address concerns in those areas?
You see, Ayo, in answering your question specifically, just as I said, that this is more about perception and not reality. When you look at polling units, you will discover that in many polling units, we even have more people who are not registered voters present at the polling unit than the actual registered voters that want to vote or that are there to vote. So there is nowhere in the report that is linking voter apathy with insecurity. And if you notice, or if it happens that we have even more people who are not registered voters in a polling unit observing, in quote, than the actual number of people who are registered who are out to vote. So are we going to say that there is insecurity regarding that? And having said that, the Nigerian police force, we know the duties or responsibilities assigned to us regarding the election. And the election has been divided into three phases. We have the pre-election, which covers the campaign period. Then we have the actual election date, which also covers the collation. Then we have the post-election. That is when the results have been announced. So for these three phases, we have different security architecture designed for this. And again, there is what we call the threat analysis. Before the election, we do a threat analysis, community by community, local government by local government, state by state. And this threat analysis makes us to understand what would most likely happen. And this allows us to go before these people who are planning to do certain things that might not make the election to go on peacefully.
Okay, Mr. Shogule, I don't need a report by Yaga to tell me that a lot of voter apathy is because of people don't trust the security authorities during elections. Look at the 2023 elections. Look at governorship elections in Lagos. When they carried Oro and there was mayhem and people were being chased away from police, the police was left flat-footed, couldn't do anything. There were many police stations. In fact, in the first place, you don't even have enough people manning the police stations, 1 or 2 police officers. When these criminal elements come and cut away election material, the police is just left there looking. We have empirical videos on camera. And that's why when people go vote, they get injured. That's why they don't want to come out and vote. So I don't even need Yaga reports. The last election cycle showed everything. So I don't know what you are talking about when you are saying, that it's not because of the police. It's because of insecurity. The police are supposed to guard, the process. But we see criminal elements come around. And police officers are left there and they are not even able to man anything.
All right, Rufai, regarding what you've said, again, I would say this has to do with perception. And again, this incident you've mentioned, these are just isolated cases. And there are reports as well that those that are responsible for the action you mentioned were eventually arrested. And necessary action
were they prosecuted?
has been
Can
taken.
I ask you a question honestly? And please be honest with me, true to God. How many people did the police prosecute for shenanigans and election shenanigans in the last 2023 elections? How many people did the police prosecute?
Oh, the reports are...
Up to court level. That you arrested them, you sent them through the legal process, and they were prosecuted. How many? Please. True to God.
In Kano State, for instance, which even your media outlet reported, over 300 people, over 300 electoral violators were prosecuted in Kano, which was reported by your media station. And in Kogi State, for instance, some people were as well prosecuted and even convicted. The particular issue you mentioned in Lagos.
Yeah, how many people were prosecuted in Lagos?
In Kogi.
How many people were prosecuted
over
in
17.
Kogi?
Your
in Lagos, Unko?
Can you allow me?
Go ahead. You have
when
the
you
floor.
ask Rufai, can you allow me to respond?
In Lagos, yeah,
yes.
Go ahead.
It is even reported by... It has been reported by your channels, by your media as well. So prosecution of electoral violators are ongoing.
How many people were prosecuted in Lagos? That's what I asked you. How many people were prosecuted in Lagos? You've given me the number of Kano, Kogi. How many people were prosecuted in Lagos for those electoral offenses in the 2023 elections?
Over 17 people were arrested, and the process was taken up to court. The records are there. If you want me to give actual figures,
thank God you've just given out the stats. Over 17 people with all of the election hotspots in the whole of Lagos. And the shenanigan that happened where even our own Arise cameraman was beaten, all right? Over just 17 people were prosecuted in the whole of Lagos. And you say it's a perception when people say they don't have trust in the security to guard them. In the whole of Lagos, just 17 people were prosecuted. I mean, it tells the story. So it's not about data. We are talking about reality. And please, remove the word perception. It's not perception. It's what people see with their eyes. Please.